Good evening. This is Cece with Going Solo, and you are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And we're doing something a little bit different tonight. We're having the show on my Facebook page, and so it's really kind of fun being able to be out there with you all. And tonight we have my very good friend. We've been friends for quite a long time now, but I hate to say long because then it ages us, so we don't want to do that. But we've been friends for many, many years. And I have with me Bonnie Sharp. Welcome, Bonnie.
Thank you, Cece. It's so nice to be here.
Oh, it is great having you. Now, you have done a lot of transitions in your life, and you have really built yourself into being a healthy person and sharing that information with others, and I think it's awesome. You are a transformational health coach, and you're really changing people's lives with making them aware that it's not just about dieting, but it's about really creating a shift in your life and creating, really a new horizon as far as taking care of our bodies, right?
Exactly. In fact, my practice is Reinvent Yourself with Bonnie, and that's because there really is no age where you can become your absolute best. I just turned 50 myself, and I really consider myself at this point in my life the And my purpose is to help everybody be their best and live to their true potential from a holistic view.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of trouble there. If anyone's listening out there, we're having a little bit of trouble with it. So sometimes I think it's the wavelength or whatever that we're on. So make sure that if you have anything open, Bonnie, on your computer, that we shut it down and make sure that we are just having our website up here open. But I wanted to talk about tonight, which I thought was a really great topic, was about our, our sugar habit, breaking that sugar habit. Because I was reading something the other day was telling me that there's sugar in just almost everything that we eat and we drink. And so if we're going to try to break this habit, how do we do that?
And it really is not an easy thing to do at all, because sugar really is an addiction. And the reason I feel so passionate about this is because I literally grew up living on sugar. My entire childhood, basically, I woke up in the morning and I had sugar-filled cereal, like the Frosted Flakes that has sugar all over it. And then on top of that, I was trained to put sugar on top of it, in addition to what's already there. And then for lunch, I had cream cheese and jelly that was filled with sugar. And all throughout the day, there was any day that you walked into my house, you would find Chips Ahoy, Entenmann's cakes, Malamars, everything you can imagine, ice cream, cupcakes, candy, everything. And my sisters and I would eat it nonstop, because at that time we didn't realize just how detrimental sugar was. And I was very lucky at that age that I was able to eat really whatever I wanted, which was tons of junk food, and not gain weight. And unfortunately, that did not stay that way for very long. In fact, I was the only one out of me and my two sisters that did start to put on weight when I hit my teenage years. So I started realizing that I'm going to have to watch the way that I eat. Unfortunately, it took weight gain for me to get to that point. And I did wind up putting on, when I was in my high school years, I was gaining weight, not too bad. I was a little bit on the chunky side. But once I got to college, I'm only 5 foot tall, and I was 30 pounds overweight. And I still, to this day, it feels like it was yesterday, because I remember just how devastating it is to look in the mirror and to just want to cry, to just be so self-conscious all the time. I couldn't even get dressed in the morning without, trying on a million different outfits to try to find something that I looked decent in, and, going to a party and constantly feeling like I just look fat and ugly, and, crying in a dressing room when I'm trying on bathing suits. I remember that so clearly, and that's why I'm so passionate to help everyone that I can to not ever experience that, to, live their best life And no matter how many times they've tried in the past diets or things that didn't work, or maybe it did work for a period of time, but they fell off track, it's my passion to get you back on track and really make the changes that are permanent so that you can live the rest of your life your best self. So let's get back to the sugar topic, because I can get off tangents when it comes to how passionate I am about helping people live to their potential. But the sugar itself, once I hit that 30-pound mark and I was just completely, devastated, I realized I had to do something. And so I've learned how to quit the sugar habit, how to get to where I feel great about my body. I love my body. And not just that, but feeling beautiful in your own skin, regardless of what that looks like to you. And so that's what I'm here to share with everybody. It sounds so simple, but it really, I could very easily just say, just stop eating sugar. But it's very difficult. And there are several challenges to quitting sugar. And I'm going to just share 3 of them. Try to go brief because I know that we have a limited period of time. So I'm going to share with you some challenges, how to overcome them. But in order to take it to the next level, I'll also share with everyone a way to take it to the next level and really get to the bottom of it so that you can really accomplish your goals. So basically, the first challenge I want to share with you is the fact that most nutritionists view food in terms of calories, fat grams, and nutritional value. And as a health coach, I'm going to share with you another principle of food that you can entertain, and that's the fact that all food has energetic qualities as well. So basically, the principle of polarity, so meaning opposites, extremes. So for instance, the polarity of temperature is cold. And then of course we have soft and hard, high and low, there's polarities in everything. So with food, there's polarities in their energetic levels. And I know that this document is a little bit light, so you probably can't really see it, but in the center is the balanced energetic polarities, and that's grains, roots and beans, fish, poultry, fruits and nuts. But then you have the expansive side of energy of food, and that's the food that makes us feel really happy and relaxed and blissful. And that's basically alcohol and sugar and caffeine and dairy. That gives us pleasure. And then on the other side is the food that really makes us feel aggressive and focused and grounded. That's red meat and eggs and salt. And so basically, there's different polarities with food, the expansive side and the contractive side. And when you're eating a lot of one, then it makes you kind of crave the other because you want to be in balance. Your body craves balance. So in addition to food, activities can also have polarity. So when you're, for instance, focusing on a lot of responsibilities or working a lot or just dealing with a lot of problems, you're going to start thinking about wanting to entertain some of the foods that make you feel expansive. So after a hard day of work, or dealing with a difficult toddler, or sitting in a lot of stressful traffic, you're going to want to come home and think about maybe having a martini, or that brownie or Snickers bar that's sitting on the counter, because it gives you that feeling of pleasure. But what I want to offer you is that what your body is really craving, instead of the food polarity, is really the activity that you're craving. Your body's begging for relaxation because you're feeling all tense and stressed out. So what would be a better option would be doing something that's going to be expansive activity-wise, like going for a nice leisurely walk, or spending some time with your dogs, or meditation, something that's going to really make you feel relaxed. So that's just one challenge, that we crave sugar and we crave those kind of expansive types of food. Then the second challenge that I want to introduce is the fact that we literally are addicted physically to sugar. When we start eating sugar that's high, food I should say that's high in sugar, most of that type of food doesn't contain protein, fiber, and fat. And those are the nutrients that slow down the absorption of sugar into our blood. So when we're eating the high sugar content food, it spikes right into our blood very quickly, and 50% of the sugar that goes into our blood goes straight to the brain. So when our brain gets spiked with that sugar, we wind up going crazy. We start getting this sugar rush, and our brain automatically sends a message to the pancreas to release the insulin that'll reduce the sugar from our blood. However, the problem is the insulin that gets released is way more than we really need because we're so used to eating sugar. Our bodies are used to eating processed foods and foods that are high in sugar. So the insulin is very good at its job, and it winds up taking out too much sugar, so we wind up crashing. And that's what causes it.
Let me ask you, does the sugar that we have in like fruit, natural foods, is that also the same? Does it affect us the same?
It causes a similar reaction in the body, but as far as insulin, but it doesn't have the same damaging effect as long as you eat it in moderation. Because our fruit intake, the natural sugar, is really sweet. But when we're used to eating the processed sugar and lots of quantity of added sugar to our foods, we're so used to this ultra sweet, feeling of exhilaration. It causes the dopamine in our brain to, just release, and the hormones to make us feel so good that we don't really experience the true sweetness of real natural fruit. So when we do cut out added sugar, then we realize just how sweet our real natural fruit is. Apples are extremely sweet, and people don't realize just how sweet they are because they're so used to all of the added sugar. So that's the kind of sugar that's okay in limited amounts. You don't want to eat, 5 apples a day, but, a couple of fruits a day is perfectly fine. It's not going to do damage to your body.
Right. But it's about the balance, isn't it? The balance that you have between the exercising or being active and then also balancing it with the food that you have. So we do have some people online here with us.
Yeah.
And so I want to just shout out with them and let them know that we do appreciate them coming on board with us. We have Ken from Orlando here, and he says, are there any sweeteners you recommend? Is there any sweeteners out there?
Stevia is about the only sweetener that I use that is plant-based sweetener. So it's the natural sweetener. However, I just want to make note that in itself also is going to produce a reaction if you're overusing it. So I am comfortable sharing with my clients that it's okay to use stevia in moderation. Definitely, I'm against any artificial sweetener, but anything that's natural based, based from plants, pure honey, agave, those type of sweeteners, that's all organic, that is okay in moderation. But I prefer to really stick to just, having a couple of fruit, having sweet vegetables like yams, some squash, sweet potatoes. They're sweet. They really satisfy your sweet tooth. But if you're going to use a sweetener, I would definitely suggest stevia or something that's natural based. But this is a picture, a diagram
let me see you on solo.
And that's why it's so hard to get off of this sugar roller coaster, because you're starting out, you're spiking up with the high sugar content foods. It spikes up to your brain. Then the insulin brings it way down, and that's when you go into this crash and you're feeling really scattered and shaky and uncomfortable. And then the way that we get ourselves feeling better again is more sugar. And so it really is a never-ending cycle, and it's very dangerous. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is that, we didn't realize back then, when I was young and I was eating all that sugar, my mom didn't realize it. Most people didn't know just how bad sugar was for you then. But now, as we're learning more, we're finding out that sugar truly is really difficult, really harmful for your health. It's known to cause diabetes, obviously, but also obesity-related illnesses such as heart disease, cancer, multiple different types of cancer, and also it's linked to an increase in Alzheimer's disease as well, in addition to, of course, weight gain. And many others. I have a whole bunch of other illnesses and diseases that are actually on my website that sugar is linked to as well. So it's just really detrimental to your health, and why it's so important to kick the habit now. So now I'm just going to share with you the third. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to mention also, when this happens with the sugar roller coaster, what makes it even worse and compiles the problem is that after the insulin is released, it only has, and it takes the extra sugar out of your blood, it only has 3 places to bring that extra sugar, and that's your brain, your muscles, and your blood cells. And if the receptors are already filled because you've already been eating sugar, then the only place to bring that sugar is straight to, what do you think? Your hips, or your thighs, or your butt, wherever you're prone to gaining fat. That's where it's going to And then what makes the matter even worse is that when our bodies are producing insulin, we are incapable of producing glucagon, which is the hormone that removes the excess fat in order to burn it, like when we're exercising. So we're not even able to burn the excess fat when we're working out if we're producing insulin. So you're kind of defeating the purpose when you're overloading yourself with sugar, because you're not able to burn that fat, and instead you're putting more fat into your body. So it just compiles the problem. So then the third challenge that I wanted to mention is the fact that there are so many instances where most of us, and this is what I work with my clients with, working with, is that if you're not happy in any area of your life, whether it be your body, your finances, your relationships, your sex life, your family life, your career, any area, if you're unhappy, then it's so easy to just find pleasure in sugar. And a lot of times that's why we binge. That's why we seek out sugar, and that's why we crave it, is because we're looking for some sort of pleasure to make us feel better. And that masks the real issue at hand that really needs to get addressed. So that's another thing that I help my clients with, is to really delve down deep and figure out what's causing the cravings, and then really addressing the actual issue. So even though cravings can appear to be just a total pain in the ass, because you don't want to have to keep on, reaching for sugar, you can look at it as though it's a blessing in disguise, because it's the messenger that's letting you know that there's something else going on, and creating the space for you to step into in order to be your best version of you. So those are the challenges that I just wanted to share.
Excellent. That's excellent information. We're having a feedback. I don't know.
Okay, well, I just also wanted to mention that, the lifestyle part of it, even though you may crave alcohol or sugar if you're having a stressful day, I also work with my clients in terms of not just nutrition, but lifestyle, to determine, what it is that you're really needing. Your body's needing some form of self-care or relaxation or pampering. And one of the other things is that I wanted to share with you, there are 7 solutions. So I gave you the challenges of what makes it so difficult to kick the habit, and why we crave sugar, and why it's so harmful to our bodies and to our health. So now I'm going to give you 7 solutions that can help you kick the habit.
Well, Bonnie, we'll have to only give a couple, and then redirect them into your information. we're getting down to the wire.
Okay, I'll go through them really quickly. Okay, so the first thing that we want to look at is your beverage intake. As far as one of the main reasons why we crave sugar is because we're dehydrated. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough hydration. So before you go for the sugar, gulp down a glass of water and wait 5 minutes and see if you still have the cravings. And also you want to make sure that you're watching your caffeine intake as well, because sometimes it'll mimic the sugar crash when you're coming down from caffeine and you're thinking that, you need some sugar in order to boost your energy back up again, where it's really a caffeine crash. So you really want to just watch the number of, coffee that you have each day, or tea, or soda is just bad. Just don't drink soda. Okay, and then number 2 is satisfying your sweet tooth with, as we discussed earlier, sweet fruit, vegetables, and seasonings. Putting cinnamon on, your fruit or on some of your food will definitely give you that sweet flavor. You definitely don't have to take out your sweetness in order to remove sugar intake. There's so many fruits, berries and apples and figs and beets and yams and sweet potatoes. There's so much that's sweet. And once you stop eating sugar, you'll realize it really is even sweeter than you think. So that can totally satisfy your sweet tooth. And then also number 3 is make sure you're getting enough sleep, because when you're walking around tired all the time, you're going to be looking for something to boost your energy. And sugar may be one of those things that you wind up seeking. So what I would suggest is to go to sleep an hour earlier. And what I do with my clients is we put together a bedtime ritual if they're having some sleep issues or they're just not feeling rested in the morning. We put together a whole bedtime ritual for them. But if you just go to bed an hour earlier and get some more sleep, then you'll have less cravings, if that's one of the reasons why you're craving sweets or craving sugar, to boost your energy. Another reason is making sure that you're eating the right amount of protein. There are certain proteins that some people crave more sugar if they eat too much of it, or if they eat too little of it. Like if you're eating too much red meat, you might crave sugar, or too little red meat, or any other of the proteins. So another thing I do with my clients is that we find that sweet spot. That's the right amount of protein for them and the right source of protein that's going to be best for them and give them the most energy. And then number 5 is just get rid of low-fat and fat-free foods. We went through that whole era where everything was fat-free because everyone was told that fat was the enemy. And that couldn't be farthest from the truth, because there is some fat that's actually needed to be healthy. And I would work with my clients and show them which fat to really go for. But you don't want to eliminate fat from your diet at all. I'd rather see you have full fat foods, because what happens is when they take out the fat, they add sugar to make it tasty. So fat-free foods or low-fat foods are going to have way more sugar. So you want to get rid of those. And then number 6 is exercise. Moving your body helps you get rid of stress, and it makes you feel good. It, boosts that serotonin, so you're less likely to seek sugar to get rid of that stress and to seek pleasure. And then post-meal rituals, many people, this is the last one, many people just are in the habit of eating something sweet after they're done with their meal. They just feel like they need that in order to feel satisfied. And I used to be one of those people, but it really is not difficult to get out of that habit. You just start doing something else, something that's healthy. It doesn't have to be food. It can be, you get into the ritual of going for a nice leisurely walk after dinner, or getting to the ritual of reading after dinner, or allowing yourself some time alone watching television, or just spending time with your loved ones, or meditating, or even just having a cup of tea with, a little pure honey, something like that if you need something sweet, or a slice of rum.
A lot of great information. Absolutely. I love it. I'm not quite sure why I'm having feedback here. However, I just wanted to be able to make sure that we give the audience your contact information. And I know that you have something special for them, so if they want to join you later on. So give us that information, Bonnie.
Okay. So basically, these are tips that how to help you quit the habit, but most likely most people don't just quit because it's already ingrained, and you might start out doing it, but then you wind up falling back into your old habits. So I'm offering everybody who wants to take me up on this a free 45-minute total transformation breakthrough discovery session where I will help you discover the source of your cravings and help you get unstuck to overcome the reasons for those cravings so that they're completely eliminated and you no longer have this, you kick the habit for good. So you can reach my website at bonniescharf.com/kicksugarcravings. And you can book the actual call with me right on that site, or you can even send me a Facebook message. In fact, I have a document with all of the 7 solutions that I'll be happy to send to anybody who reaches out to me and requests me and sends a Facebook message or sends me an email. You can send me an email to reinventyourselfwithbonnie@gmail.com, and it's all spelled out. Reinvent.
I'll try to update our website too and get that information on there under our free stuff so everyone can join you. But let's also give them the news. You're going to be a new host on WGSN-DB.
Yay!
Yay! I'm so excited.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to be starting it in September, and you're going to be bringing all this great information that's going to help transform our lives. So we're a little bit healthier, where our wellness is better, and it, it's just going to help us all the way around, because like you had said before, it's like, you really have to help yourself mentally, physically, it's just
on a holistic level, every area of your well-being. Spiritually, emotionally, every area. And that's what I love doing with my clients. So anybody who wants to take me up on the free session with me, one-on-one session, will focus strictly on you and your situation. Just visit my website or send me a message and I'll send you the link to book your session. And if you have any content that you would like me to discuss in any of my calls, my recordings that Cece's going to be posting, then please let us know and I'll be happy to discuss that in my shows.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to have to sign off now. And this has been a very enlightening show for me, because I've been trying to be healthier because I want to live longer. And I know you've helped me do a lot of things, and I've managed to get off the Diet Coke, which is a huge step for me. Yeah, so I just lived on Diet Coke, and so I'm off of that now, and I just drink very little of it, and I'm on to tea. Now I'm going to green tea. So I'm taking all of the information that you've given me and some of the support that I've had from my friends and stuff like that. So it's really great. I'm glad I'm feeling a little bit healthier. So I am excited about the show that you're going to be coming forward with WGSN-DB, and it's just great helping singles out there be able to move forward in their lives. So thank you, Bonnie.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Cece.
Oh, thank you. Well, listen, we're going to have to sign off now. This is Cece with Going Solo. You are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You can find us 24/7. We're a live streaming station. It's www.goingsolonetwork.com. On the internet, you can just go on the site and you'll have a wonderful show to listen to 24/7. So you can't sleep at night. All you have to do is come on our station, and we have some great inspirational, uplifting shows for you. And Bonnie's going to be one of our new hosts, so we appreciate that. So thanks a lot, Bonnie.
Thank you, Cece. And bye,
thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, thank you all for listening. We do appreciate it. So bye for now.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.